No chance will they win the Europa League. They won't win the FA Cup, right? So I guarantee you, as we sit here today, and you can recall it like you did with Messi, because you kept on playing that particular clip until I was right, about Messi not leaving Barcelona. I guarantee you Man United will win nothing this season. Let me tell you, with Ole Gunnar Solskjær in charge, this is going to be a bloody long-term project. They'll finish writing the Doomsday Book before Ole Gunnar Solskjær wins anything of merit with Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjær will deliver nothing but... He might get him into the top 4. If that's Man United's aim... Chapeau, fantastic. I thought Man United wanted to win things. I don't think he should be doing anything besides getting his coat.
Aye. And we're also... Go on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm wearing a coat today, Jim.
Uh-huh.
I assume you're not wearing a coat.
Oh, yeah, all right. As in, I've got my coat.
Indeed.
I see. So we're going to start like that. I was just about to say what a beautiful morning it is.
It is a beautiful day, isn't it?
I had a lovely walk round the corner this morning. A couple of people on my walk in the way round were saying to me, where's your coat? Cannot wait to hear Simon this morning. What's Simon going to be saying this morning? United lost. So, I mean, we may as well get into it. I was going to be pleasant, chat about one or two things, but let's get right into it. This long-term agenda that you've had against Ole Gunnar Solskjær.
Observation, you mean? Consistent theme.
Has it come to fruition? Is it now proven without any shadow of a doubt that he's not the man for the job?
Look, I mean, I take no satisfaction in watching somebody lose and watching him be very upset after the game, because you can see in his reaction that he's incredibly disappointed. And also, you know, in the interview, I think he was quite emotional and talked about the achievements they've had this season and would it be considered to be a success? And the answer is no, because the answer has to be no. Because ultimately, if you're put into a situation where you get ejected from one tournament, get a second chance to go and win another one, get a group of draws that really do help you, with the exception of Milan, and play Villarreal in a final, then you should be winning that trophy. And you should be in a position where you don't have to listen to the vitriol observation about whether you're the guy for the job. Look, I think it's very challenging for him, because I think Manchester United don't operate as the best in class from the boardroom down. You know, the owners of the club don't operate in a way that would be conducive with a club of that stature. I think the management team that's been assembled around Ole Gunnar Solskjær to help him to be able to build an elite team aren't there. With the greatest respect in the world to people like Mike Phelan, they aren't Rennie Mullerstein, they aren't Carlos Queiroz, or even Steve McClaren that Ferguson had behind him. So I think, irrespective of whether I think Solskjær is the right man for the job, I just don't think he's got the toolkit. Now you get to the players. And some of these players, we sit here and we talk about how good they are and how they aren't. You know, the Pogbas of the world and other players that are big name players, when it comes to the moment to dig your manager out of the cart, they're not there. So I look at it and say, look, I said at the beginning of the season, you know, they won't win anything. They won't win anything. Or they won't win the league. They won't win the major tournaments. And I got braver and said they'll win nothing. Yeah. In a context of a conversation that you and I had, and they didn't win anything. And you can't run the argument. You just can't run the argument that one kick of a season determines the outcome of it for a penalty, because they should have beaten the Villarreal side well within the timelines of a penalty shootout to determine an outcome.
I agree. I mean, you have flip-flopped slightly.
I haven't.
I haven't. Only get your coat. You kind of came down a few rungs after that.
Well, no, because I mean, you
said they might win something.
You asked me a question in the context of a dreadful set of circumstances where he had been very poor in a decision-making process, which I think involved Fred. And you said to me, "What would I say to him?" I said, "What he should say to himself is, I'm going to get my coat." You then trotted it out for the last 5 months as a scenario of me being ultimately disrespectful, and I haven't flip-flopped. I've recognised.
Hang on, Simon. I've got a note of it. On the 19th of May, you said, you know, they might win something under Ole.
Because they're in a Europa League final against Villarreal. My God, if you can't win a tournament when you've gone past Granada, a disco dancing Granada when Tony Adams was there 3 years ago, and get the draws that you get, and you get Villarreal in a final, then you deserve to be in a situation where somebody goes, you know what, I might just countenance a bit of balance here and say there's a possibility they will win something. And I actually thought they would beat Villarreal. I thought they would be Villarreal. But when I said they'd win nothing, that was because they'd just been booted out of the Champions League for lack of performance. They dropped into the Europa League, and I thought they were going to have to play some decent teams in the Europa League. That's why I said they wouldn't win it. Then you could draw Granada and teams like that, and you think, they're going to win it.
But let me try and get a bit of balance about this. You must admit that he has made, undoubtedly he's made progress with Manchester United. Under them, they've made progress, have they not?
Well, okay, what does progress look like? Okay, they previously, under Mourinho, were going in a direction where everything was dark. They couldn't sign Harry Maguire. He was falling out of everybody left, right and centre. Him and Pogba were at odds with one another. But not long before that, they'd been given a new contract by Ed Woodward. They had won, they'd finished second in the league, like the advert says. Not every achievement results in a trophy, as Mourinho likes to advance in one of those betting adverts. They'd won the Europa League. They'd won the League Cup, right? And suddenly the wheels came off. In comes somebody to re-engage the camp, to get a bit of spirit back into the situation because everybody was so negative.
He's done that.
And he has done that. But they still haven't bloody won anything. Then he's now going to go the best part of 4 years before he can win something. Now, if that's okay with Manchester United fans, and by the way, I think it's important to be magnanimous because I can guarantee you, if Man United had won last night, I'd have a bunch of Man United fans from Essex and Hertfordshire, where they hark from, piling in, telling me what a complete and utter something pot I was. But the reality of it is that they have made progress. Of course they've made progress, but you have to balance that with what you expect from Manchester United, what the Premier League really looked like this year in terms of decline of other sides, against what they had an opportunity to win. They had an opportunity to build the momentum that the argument was.
Oh, absolutely.
Ferguson was asleep at the wheel for 4 years, but landed on his feet by beating Crystal Palace in the FA Cup final in 1990, and everything spun from there. So everyone would have been pushing back to this narrative and saying, if we win this Europa League, however we win it, it'll be the catalyst. Well, you lost to Villarreal. And Unai Emery must be sitting there going, you know what, Arsenal, have a look. But also the commendability, because they're not a great side. They're a decent side. But if you look at Man United and all that goes with it, and all the crap we have to listen to about how big a club they are and how good their players are.
But you always say they are.
I always say,
you call them the biggest club in the world.
I always say, and that is why I have always said, is it right that the best in class doesn't go to the best in class?
This was Solskjær post-match, and he tried to meet the thing head on.
It's not a successful season, of course, and that's the fine margins in football. Sometimes, you know, one kick can define a season as a good one or as a successful one, and one kick says it's not. And improvement, yeah. Second in the league, probably no one expected us to be second in the league after the start we had, after the lack of pre-season we had. But the boys have been really, really good, and but just came up short tonight, unfortunately, and that's on penalties. So, but trophies matter, and that's what matters at this club.
One thing you do get from him is honesty. He takes it. He takes the rap. You know, you heard him deflect there that it was anything to do with the players. The players are big, magnificent. I would say in 120 minutes last night, the players have it all to do. It's down to them to beat Villarreal. They should assume more responsibility.
But it's also,
forget the penalties.
It
in 120 minutes.
It can be a shot to nothing because
it's a grievous setback for Solskjær.
Well, it is. It's not helpful, is it? It'll enable people to ramp up the rhetoric and to build up the narrative of how incompetent he is or he isn't. He's not incompetent. He's a decent football manager, and I've always said he's a decent football manager. But he, in my view, if he takes anything from this, it might be it will harden his soul and make him a bit more solid and come back swinging if they're going to keep him. Because what he will have looked at there yesterday was a complete and utter degradation of managerial choices. He didn't intervene in the game to change the direction of travel, and his players let him down.
If they're going to be... This is what it comes down to. We're going to hit the first break, but I may as well hit you with this right now. It comes down to this, does it not? If they are going to be the force in world football, if Manchester United are going to be the elite club that we all know and believe them to be, if they are going to be that, is it time up for them?
I never thought it should have been time in the first place. I think unless the only way they're going to win something next year of any significance if there's a massive erosion on the other sides. If Manchester City go into decline, Liverpool don't hit their straps again.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Well, I don't think so either. And I've never thought so. And I've never thought so in the last 3 years. And the one thing I've been consistent about is not degrading this man on a personal level, simply saying, no, he doesn't have the chops to do what it takes to put Man United back where I think they should be. And I couldn't care less about Man United. I'm a Crystal Palace supporter. But when we're talking objectively about the biggest club, in my view, in English football, irrespective of all the other clubs' claim to fames, I think it's not good enough. And I think it's not good enough from the owners to the boardroom to the dugout to the pitch. Across the board, if you haven't got a culture... Now, I listened to a bunch of pundits on BT Sport like Ferdinand and Scholes talking absolute drivel, making excuses from the outset, laying out a game plan that has no game plan, and then backpedaling quicker than a quick thing from Quickland.
Manchester United fans, where are you at with this then this morning? I mean, ultimately, this is a question, and there is no personal agenda against Ole Gunnar Solskjær. I had a brief chat with him the other day at Elland Road when I went up to see Leeds against Manchester United. And I know you, Simon Jordan, and I know for a fact, Simon, and I'm not speaking for you, but I will speak for you. You have nothing personal against Ole.
Of course not.
I know that. But it comes down to this. Has Ole Gunnar Solskjær, in the eyes of the Manchester United fans, has he made sufficient progress to stay on in the job? Or is enough enough? Have you seen enough for you to make a decision and that maybe not Ole? No, tough as it is, because we all know 22 years to the day, it would have been last night. It would have been a great anniversary for him, having scored the winner, of course, in the Nou Camp himself. It would have been great last night if he could celebrate that with the lifting of the Europa League. But is it time for Solskjær? Have you seen enough now for you to make a decision that no, he's not the man? Or has he made sufficient progress for him to take United on into next season? Where are you at regards Ole Gunnar Solskjær? 08717 223344 81089, and be honest with whatever you come away with today.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning 10 till 1 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.